It started with Jasmine, her sudden claims, her fiery confrontations. Her undeniable proof that sent shockwaves through Kirk's carefully constructed world. We all thought we'd seen the final chapter of this saga when Jasmine stepped into the spotlight, but oh no, the universe wasn't done, because just when the dust seemed to settle, just when Kirk's smile started creeping back onto his face, a new storm came rolling in. And this time, her name is Kendra. Yes, Kendra, the woman no one saw coming, the whisper behind the scenes, the one who fans are now calling the secret shadow in Kirk's life. The streets are buzzing, social media is exploding, and everyone's asking the same question: has Kirk been hiding a third baby mama all along? Picture it, the dim lights of an upscale lounge, the clink of champagne glasses, the sudden flash of a phone camera catching an angle Kirk didn't want the world to see. A hand-delicate, manicured resting on his arm. The rumors started like wildfire, each one burning hotter than the last. Kendra wasn't just another friend, insiders say. She's allegedly been part of Kirk's life for years, waiting in the shadows while the rest of the drama played out. But now she's front and center, and she's not holding back. Whispers of late-night visits, secret bank transfers, and a child no one knew about are flooding every corner of the internet. The fans are shocked. The family is split, and Kirk is silent, which only makes the rumors louder. Tonight, we're peeling back the curtain on the drama no one was prepared for. After Jasmine. Now Kendra. You're not ready for what we uncovered. It all began on what was supposed to be an ordinary Friday night in Atlanta. Kirk had been spotted at an exclusive, members-only lounge, one of those places where the lighting is low, the music is just loud enough to muffle private conversations, and the crowd is sprinkled with a mix of celebrities, influencers, and people who know someone who knows someone. To the outside world, Kirk was simply out unwinding. But, to those who were there that night, the energy was different. Witnesses say he walked in with his usual swagger, the kind of confidence that says, "I've survived worse, and I'm still standing." But what caught everyone's attention wasn't just Kirk, it was the woman trailing just 2 steps behind him. She was stunning, with jet black hair cascading over her shoulders, a form-fitting red dress that demanded attention, and a look in her eyes like she knew exactly where she stood in his life. That woman was Kendra, and though few in the room recognized her, those who did whispered her name with a mixture of shock and disbelief. From the moment they sat down, it was clear this wasn't just a casual acquaintance. Kirk leaned in close, whispering in her ear, his hand occasionally brushing against hers under the table. At one point, a photographer, probably hoping to catch a shot of one of the other celebrities in attendance, snapped a picture that, when later leaked, would set the internet ablaze. The image showed Kirk, his face half hidden in shadow, with Kendra smiling at him in a way that was unmistakably intimate. Fans immediately began comparing the photo to old images of him and Jasmine, pointing out the eerie similarities in body language, as if Kirk had a type and a pattern he just couldn't break. Within hours of that photo hitting the blogs, social media was in full meltdown mode. Comments flooded in. Not another one, Kirk. This man needs a family tree chart at this point. Who even is Kendra? And then came the unverified claim screenshots of alleged text messages between Kendra and friends where she hinted at her man and their child. The most explosive claim: that Kendra's child, a little boy with Kirk's same dimples, was nearly 2 years old. And if the math lined up, that meant Kirk had been involved with Kendra while still dealing with the fallout from the Jasmine scandal. By Saturday morning, the blogs weren't just speculating, they were digging. Old photos surfaced of Kendra at music industry events going back 3 years. Often just a few feet away from Kirk, though never officially photographed together. One blurry image even appeared to show her in the background of a family barbecue, holding a plate of food and laughing with someone off camera. Fans went into detective mode, combing through Kendra's social media, piecing together matching locations. It didn't take long before someone found a post from Kendra at a beach resort in Miami dated the exact same weekend. Kirk was on a boys' trip according to his own Instagram stories. The coincidence was too much for people to ignore. Inside the Frost household, tensions were reportedly at an all-time high. Sources claimed Rashida was blindsided by the Kendra rumors. She'd been through this before too many times. In fact, Taunt had made it clear after the Jasmine incident that there would be zero tolerance for any more scandals. But here it was again, history threatening to repeat itself in the most public and humiliating way possible. Friends close to Rashida allegedly tried to comfort her, telling her not to believe everything she read online. But the problem was, Some of it wasn't just online chatter. Certain details, like the fact that Kirk had been missing during a family dinner 2 weeks prior and claimed he had a business meeting, suddenly made a lot more sense. Kendra, meanwhile, was not hiding. In fact, she seemed to lean into the attention. Just days after the story broke, she posted a cryptic Instagram story, a black screen with the words, "The truth always comes out," followed by a heart emoji. That single post set off another round of chaos. Was she confirming the rumors? Was she taunting Rashida? Or was it just a coincidence? The ambiguity only fueled the drama. The more people dug, the more unsettling the timeline became. Alleged insiders whispered that Kendra had been in Kirk's life long before Jasmine ever came forward. That she was the real long-term secret, and Jasmine's revelation had merely distracted everyone from the deeper truth. One particularly explosive claim came from someone who said they'd worked backstage at an event where Kirk and Kendra were seen sharing a hotel suite. That person claimed they overheard an argument, low voices at first, then sharp, heated words. Something about promises made, and you said you'd leave her. As the days went on, the speculation turned into open accusations. Fans began tagging Rashida in every post about Kendra, demanding answers. Bloggers started counting back the months, the years, connecting every suspicious trip and unexplained absence to the possibility that Kirk had been juggling yet another relationship right under everyone's noses. One fan even claimed they'd seen Kirk and Kendra at a pediatric clinic together, though there were no photos to back up that claim, just the kind of gossip that, once it's out there, spreads like wildfire. The tension came to a head when, according to one source, Rashida confronted Kirk in private. The conversation, though behind closed doors, allegedly grew so loud that people in the next room could hear every word. "I told you never again," she was said to have shouted. Kirk's response, silence at first, then something about not wanting to talk about this here. But by then, the damage was done. The walls of their marriage were shaking once again, and this time, it felt like they might finally crumble. And yet, as all this was playing out, Kendra remained calm, almost too calm. She was spotted at a salon, getting her hair done, smiling, chatting with friends, seemingly unbothered by the hurricane of drama swirling around her. To some, that was proof she had nothing to hide. To others, it was the smugness of someone who knew she had the upper hand. But what no one could have predicted was just how deep this story would go, and the next twist would change everything. That next twist came late on a Tuesday night, when an anonymous account dropped a series of screenshots that sent the gossip world into overdrive. The images were allegedly of text messages between Kirk and Kendra, and while the authenticity couldn't be confirmed, they were damning. In one thread, Kirk supposedly told Kendra, "I'm handling it, just give me time," followed by, "You know you and him are my priority." The him in question immediately fueled speculation. Was he talking about the rumored child? Another screenshot showed Kendra replying, "He asks for you every night, Kirk. How long do you think we can keep this quiet?" The timestamp from nearly a year ago, right in the middle of another public storm Kirk was facing. Fans didn't waste a second. The screenshots were shared across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok within minutes, racking up millions of views overnight. Hashtags like #KirkandKendra and #3rdBabyMama started trending. Some users were outraged, accusing Kirk of playing the same game over and over. Others, however, questioned the timing. Why were these messages surfacing now? Was Kendra behind the leak, or was someone else trying to stir the pot for their own gain? Meanwhile, insiders claimed Rashida had gone completely silent on social media, not even a good morning post or a motivational quote. For someone who usually kept her followers engaged daily, her absence spoke volumes. Friends close to her hinted that she was taking time to process everything, while others alleged she was quietly meeting with her legal team. Rumors of divorce papers being prepared began to swirl, though no official statement was made. Kirk, on the other hand, was spotted in public, but not in the way fans expected. Paparazzi caught him leaving a downtown Atlanta hotel, wearing a baseball cap pulled low and a hoodie zipped up, despite the warm weather. The kicker, he wasn't alone. Walking just a step behind him was Kendra, holding a small duffel bag. They didn't hold hands, but the body language told a story all its own. Kirk slightly ahead, Kendra looking down, almost as if trying to avoid eye contact with the flashing cameras. That single sighting confirmed what many had already been whispering. Whatever was going on between them, it was still happening. The next day, the blogs exploded with even more alleged receipts. One claimed that Kirk had been financially supporting Kendra for years, with business investments that conveniently matched the timeline of their rumored relationship. Another source said that when Jasmine's drama took over, Kendra had been asked to lay low until the storm passed. But here's where things got truly messy. A former friend of Kendra's came forward, telling a popular YouTube gossip channel that Kendra wasn't as innocent as she appeared. According to this friend, Kendra had always had her eyes set on Kirk, not for love, but for status and security. The friend claimed Kendra once said, "If I have his child, I'll never have to worry about money again." While the fans debated whether Kendra was a victim or a mastermind, an unexpected voice entered the conversation: Jasmine herself. Out of nowhere, she posted a cryptic tweet, "Told y'all, he ain't change. Don't shoot the messenger." That single post reignited old wounds, with some fans accusing Jasmine of gloating, while others praised her for warning everyone years ago. Jasmine didn't elaborate, but her timing couldn't have been more perfect or more destructive. Behind closed doors, those close to the Frost family described the atmosphere as unbearable. The kids were reportedly caught in the middle, overhearing arguments and feeling the tension. Rashida's mother, who had never been shy about her opinions on Kirk, was allegedly livid, telling friends that she'd never trusted him and that this was the final straw. Family gatherings were being canceled, phone calls went unanswered, and even business meetings connected to the couple's joint ventures were being rescheduled. And then came the video. Someone no one knows exactly who leaked a short clip to the blogs, allegedly filmed months earlier at a private birthday party. In the video, Kirk can be seen with his arm casually draped around Kendra's waist as they laugh with a small group. At one point, Kendra leans in and whispers something, and Kirk kisses her on the temple. The clip was grainy, but clear enough to recognize both of them. The internet went wild. Fans pointed out that the party in question had taken place the same weekend Kirk had claimed to be out of town for work. As the video spread, Kendra finally broke her silence, but not with a denial. She posted a selfie to Instagram, captioned, "Sometimes the heart wants what it wants." No tags, no names, but the implication was impossible to miss. Within hours, the post had tens of thousands of comments, some calling her a homemaker, others praising her for living her truth. Kirk still said nothing, but his silence was beginning to speak louder than words. By the end of the week, it was no longer just a scandal, it was a full-blown soap opera unfolding in real time. Fans began predicting the next move. Would Rashida kick him out? Would Kirk publicly defend Kendra? Or would another bombshell drop that made this whole thing even messier? Little did they know, the most shocking twist was still to come. And it would drag someone completely unexpected into the chaos. That shocking twist began with a single unexpected name, one that no one in the entire love and hip-hop circle could have predicted would be connected to this mess. Late Friday night, as gossip blogs were scrambling to keep up with the non-stop updates on Kirk and Kendra, an anonymous insider dropped a voice note to a notorious Atlanta tea page. In the recording, a woman's voice, calm but clearly emotional. She had been in contact with Kendra for months and knew the whole truth about the situation. Then she dropped the bomb. "Y'all keep talking about Kirk and Kendra, but do you know who introduced them? Rashida's own cousin." The revelation hit like a wrecking ball. If true, it meant this drama wasn't just creeping around the edges of the family, it had been planted inside the family tree itself. Within hours, internet detectives were combing through Rashida's past Instagram posts, trying to figure out which cousin it might have been. Old photos of family barbecues, holiday dinners, and birthday parties were dissected like crime scene evidence. A blurry shot of a tall woman with curly hair hugging Rashida on Thanksgiving 3 years ago suddenly became Exhibit A in the court of public opinion. But the voice note didn't stop there. The anonymous caller claimed that the cousin had introduced Kendra to Kirk at a charity event as a business contact, knowing full well the chemistry between them would spark instantly. Allegedly, Kendra and Kirk hit it off right away, numbers, sneaking away from the event for a private talk, and keeping in touch long after. The caller suggested the cousin had her own reasons for stirring the pot: jealousy of Rashida's public image, resentment over family disputes, and maybe even her own grudge against Kirk. When this theory hit the blogs, emotions ran high. Fans were divided, some calling the story far-fetched, others saying it made perfect sense. "This is why you can't trust family," one commenter wrote. "They'll smile in your face and hand your man to the streets." Another posted, "This plotline is straight out of a Tyler Perry movie." And then, just when everyone thought the situation couldn't get more tangled, a new photo surfaced: Kirk, Kendra, and the alleged cousin together at what looked like a baby shower. The decor was pink and gold, the cake was massive, and Kendra was wearing a flowy blush dress that many interpreted as maternity vibes. The photo was cropped in a way that left more questions than answers, but one thing was certain: this wasn't some distant acquaintance situation, this was personal. Inside the Frost household, sources say that tension reached boiling point. Rashida allegedly confronted the cousin in a heated phone call that ended with the cousin hanging up. Kirk, cornered in the kitchen later that night, reportedly tried to explain, saying it was all being blown out of proportion, but Rashida wasn't having it. "Don't tell me about proportion, tell me about the truth," she snapped, according to one insider who claimed to have overheard the fight. Meanwhile, Kendra appeared completely unfazed by the chaos she was causing. She posted a boomerang of herself, clinking champagne glasses with friends, captioned, "2 new beginnings." Fans flooded her comments, calling her out for being disrespectful, but she didn't delete a single one. If anything, she seemed to thrive on the attention. And then came another curveball, this time from someone no one had heard from in years. One of Kirk's old flames from before Rashida. She popped up in a live interview on a small YouTube gossip channel, claiming she knew Kendra personally and that this wasn't the first time Kendra had been involved with a man who was already in a committed relationship. "She knows exactly what she's doing," the woman said, her tone icy, "and she always wins. Until she doesn't." The blogs went into overdrive again, piecing together old rumors about Kendra's dating history. Some accused her of targeting men with money and influence, others said she was just living her life. But the whispers about the alleged child were getting louder. Multiple so-called insiders hinted that Kirk had been quietly paying for private schooling and medical bills for a little boy whose mother never wanted the drama to go public. Fans were now beyond curious, they were demanding proof. And proof is exactly what they got, or at least what they believed they got, when an anonymous email landed in the inbox of one of Atlanta's biggest gossip bloggers. The attachment, a birth certificate, the father's name, Kirk Frost. The document, whether real or fabricated, set social media ablaze. Hashtags exploded. People tagged Rashida relentlessly, demanding a statement. Memes started flying, photos of Kirk's face photoshopped onto a baby bottle, captions like "somebody take this man's Wi-Fi." But while the internet laughed, those close to the Frost family said it was no joke behind the scenes. The word divorce was no longer a threat, it was a very real possibility hanging in the air like a storm cloud. And yet, despite all the noise, Kirk still hadn't said a single word publicly. Not a denial, not a confirmation, just silence, which for fans meant one thing: he was hiding something. But the next move wouldn't come from Kirk, or Rashida, or even Kendra. It would come from someone no one had seen coming, and their revelation would flip this story upside down. That someone turned out to be none other than Kendra's own mother, a woman who, until now, had stayed far away from the social media circus. On a quiet Sunday afternoon, she suddenly went live on Facebook, looking dead into the camera with a mix of defiance and exhaustion. Within minutes, thousands of people had tuned in, screen recording every word. "Y'all need to stop talking about my daughter like she's some homewrecker," she began, her voice shaking with anger. "Kendra is not the villain here. She didn't go looking for Kirk. Kirk came looking for her." The comment section exploded instantly. Some viewers were shocked that Kendra's mom would insert herself into the drama. Others leaned in closer to hear the tea. She continued, detailing a story that made jaws drop. According to her, Kirk had been pursuing Kendra for months before anything happened between them, allegedly promising her a real future and telling her that his marriage was just for business. Then, the part that truly shook everyone: Kendra's mother claimed she had personally met Kirk multiple times, even having dinner with him when Kendra first introduced him as her boyfriend. "This man sat in my house, ate my food, and told me he loved my daughter," she said, her voice cracking. But she wasn't done. Kendra's mother dropped what might have been the biggest bomb yet, claiming that Kirk had been present in the delivery room when Kendra gave birth. "He held that baby in his arms before I even did," she insisted. "Don't let him fool y'all. He knows that's his child." Screenshots from the live started flooding every gossip page within minutes, and the clip where she made the delivery room comment was replayed thousands of times on TikTok alone. Fans were divided in their reactions. Some said this was undeniable proof. Others argued it was just a desperate attempt by Kendra's family to force Kirk's hand. But one thing was certain: the timeline was starting to piece itself together, in a way that made the rumors harder to dismiss. That's when things got even wilder. An old hospital photo surfaced online showing a newborn baby wrapped in a blanket, and a man in the corner of the frame, partially turned away from the camera, wearing what looked suspiciously like Kirk's favorite Atlanta Braves cap. Rashida, according to multiple sources, was devastated by the latest turn of events. She allegedly broke down in tears during a phone call with a close friend, saying she felt humiliated all over again and that she didn't know how much more she could take. Friends urged her to step away from the public eye and focus on her kids, but Rashida was reportedly torn. Leaving would mean admitting the rumors were true. Staying would mean enduring more public humiliation. Meanwhile, Kirk's silence was beginning to infuriate fans. The longer he stayed quiet, the more people assumed he was guilty. Some even began organizing a social media boycott of his appearances and projects, tagging sponsors and networks demanding action. But then, out of nowhere, Kirk finally made a move, posting a single black screen on Instagram with the words, "Don't believe everything you hear." No names, no context, just that. If he thought that would calm the fire, he was wrong. The post was instantly flooded with comments. "So is it true or not? This ain't denial, sir. You could clear this up in 2 sentences." And while the internet kept demanding answers, Kendra's actions poured gasoline on the flames. She posted a slow-motion video of herself walking into a luxury boutique with the caption, "Life's good." Fans immediately speculated that Kirk was funding her lavish lifestyle, which only fueled the secret family theory. Then came the unexpected crossover. Another cast member from Love and Hip Hop, someone who had been on good terms with both Kirk and Rashida, went live and spilled a little tea of their own. They claimed that during a private conversation months ago, Kirk had admitted to them that he messed up again but was handling it. While they stopped short of naming Kendra directly, their facial expressions and the timing made it painfully obvious who they were talking about. At this point, the drama wasn't just a scandal, it was a full-blown public implosion. Every day brought a new leak, a new photo, a new voice note. And then, just when it seemed like there was nothing left to uncover, the final and most damaging piece of evidence emerged, a grainy but unmistakable video of Kirk and Kendra sitting side by side at a small child's birthday party, singing happy birthday to a little boy with a cake in front of him. The boy, the spitting image of Kirk, right down to the dimples. The crowd noise in the video made it impossible to hear their conversation. But the sight of Kirk leaning over to help the boy blow out the candles and Kendra smiling beside them was enough to break the internet. It was no longer just rumors. For many, this was proof. The hashtags turned into memes. The memes turned into trending topics. And the Frost family name was once again dragged through the mud in the most public way possible. And still, there was one more truth lurking in the shadows. One that would force every single person involved, Kirk, Kendra, Rashida, to face a decision they couldn't dodge, because someone else was ready to speak up, and they had receipts no one could deny. That someone else turned out to be the last person anyone expected: Kirk's own business partner. The man who had been standing beside him in countless photos, club appearances, and studio sessions for over a decade. Known for keeping his mouth shut and his personal life out of the spotlight, this man had always been fiercely loyal to Kirk. Until now, late on a Wednesday night, he went live on Instagram, his face tense, his voice low but laced with frustration. "I ain't one to get in people's business," he started, "but I'm tired of folks acting like this is just gossip. I've been there. I've seen it. I've paid for it." That line alone had the live chat exploding, thousands of people joining in, screen recording, hearts and comments flying faster than he could read. He took a deep breath and then began laying it all out. According to him, Kirk had been financially supporting Kendra for years. And not just on the sly, he'd allegedly funneled money through their business ventures to avoid Rashida finding out. Trips, cars, rent, even baby stuff were all, in his words, handled like a business expense. Then came the kicker. He claimed he had personally been asked by Kirk to pick up Kendra and her son from the airport after a trip abroad. "Man, I was uncomfortable as hell," he said, shaking his head. "They came off that plane like a family. She holding the kid, he running up to Kirk yelling, 'Daddy,' and I'm standing there like, yo, what is happening right now?" The live comments were pure chaos, some people thanking him for finally exposing the truth, others calling him fake for speaking up now. But before ending the stream, he dropped the final blow. "Rashida, if you see this, I'm sorry. You deserved to hear it from him, not from me." The internet detonated. Every blog, gossip page, and Twitter thread reposted the clip within minutes. Fans said this was the nail in the coffin. that there was no way Kirk could talk his way out of it now. But just when everyone thought Kirk would stay silent, he finally broke. Posting a shaky selfie video to his Instagram stories, Kirk's eyes looked tired, his voice unusually soft. "I don't owe nobody an explanation but my family," he began. "Y'all think you know the whole story. But you don't. Mistakes were made, but not everything you hear is true." He didn't say Kendra's name. He didn't deny the child. He didn't clarify a thing, if anything. His words made the speculation even louder. Within an hour of Kirk's post, Kendra uploaded her own video. She was sitting in a car, sunglasses on, hair perfectly styled, and unlike Kirk, she didn't hold back. "Since everybody wanna play like they don't know, let me clear it up," she said, her tone dripping with equal parts confidence and defiance. "Yes, Kirk is my son's father. Yes, he's been in his life. And yes, Rashida knew about it before y'all did." That last part was the explosion no one saw coming. The comments lit up instantly. Had Rashida known all along and kept it quiet? Was she complicit in hiding the truth from the public? Or was Kendra just trying to drag her into the mud out of spite? Rashida, still silent, suddenly became the center of the storm. Fans flooded her last Instagram post from weeks earlier, begging for her side of the story. Memes flew split-screen images of Rashida smiling on TV with captions like "Meanwhile, behind the scenes." Kendra's words had shifted the narrative entirely. No longer was she just the secret baby mama. She was painting herself as someone who had been acknowledged privately but denied publicly. And while fans debated every angle, a brand new twist landed like a grenade. An old re-released Love and Hip Hop reunion taping from 2 years ago leaked online. In the clip, during a heated backstage moment, one of the cast members could be heard saying to Kirk, "Man, you better hope Kendra don't say nothing about that kid." The audience never saw this exchange on air, but now, with the leak out, it seemed like this secret had been simmering for a long time. By now, the Frost family's reality wasn't just playing out on TV, it was unraveling in real time on every phone screen in America. Fans said it was the messiest plot twist in Love and Hip Hop history, the kind of drama you couldn't script. Except this time, it wasn't just about ratings. This was about a marriage, a family, and a little boy caught in the crossfire. And as the dust settled from Kendra's bombshell confession, everyone was left asking the same question. If Rashida really knew, why had she stayed quiet all this time? That question would hang in the air, like smoke over a battlefield. Because the final word in this saga wasn't going to come from a blog, or a leaked video, or even Kirk. It was going to come from Rashida herself, and when she finally spoke, it would change the entire story yet again. The air inside the studio felt heavier than it had all night. Every word exchanged earlier seemed to linger like smoke, and by now, everyone was running on raw emotion rather than reason. Erica stood, arms crossed, her eyes locked on Rashida, like she was still daring her to deny the truth. Rashida, instead of retreating, stepped forward, her voice dropping into that comb butt-cutting tone she used when she was about to say something that could ruin someone. "Erica, you've been running your mouth for weeks, but you forget I know things about you too. Things you don't want on camera." The room erupted in low murmurs, the other cast members shifting in their seats, sensing this was about to cross into territory nobody had prepared for. Erica smirked, tossing her hair back. "Girl, please, if you had something real, you would have dropped it already. Don't act like you're sitting on some big secret." But Rashida's next words hit like a gut punch. "How about the fact that you've been meeting with producers behind everyone's back, pitching your own spin-off, and trying to cut certain people?" She glanced deliberately at Kirk. "Out of it." Erica froze. Her confident expression flickered, just for a moment, before she recovered. "Oh, so now I can't have my own business moves. Last time I checked, this was reality TV, not charity work." Kirk finally spoke up, his voice low but with an edge that made everyone pay attention. "Nah, this is about loyalty. We all signed up to do this together, but if you're plotting to make your own thing at the expense of the rest of us, that's snake behavior." Erica turned sharply to him. "Snake? Funny coming from you, considering you've been the one slithering around in everyone's business and trying to control what they do." At this point, Mendices leaned forward, clearly done with the back and forth. "Look, we all got our own hustles, but we can't keep stabbing each other in the back and calling it ambition. That's why nobody trusts anybody here anymore." The words hung in the air, heavy and uncomfortably true. Even Rashida didn't have a quick comeback for that. For a few seconds, the tension shifted from personal attacks to something deep, shared realization that the constant drama wasn't just entertainment anymore. It was destroying friendships, trust, and maybe even their futures on the show. But just as the atmosphere began to settle, Erica turned to the producers off-camera, her voice raised. "You better not cut this from the episode. People need to see the truth." Rashida let out a bitter laugh. "Truth? You wouldn't recognize the truth if it slapped you." That was the last straw. Erica moved toward her, and it took 3 crew members to step in between them, physically blocking them from getting within arm's reach. The shouting continued, overlapping, the words lost in the chaos, but the looks on their faces said it. All this wasn't ending tonight. And as the cameras kept rolling, it was clear to everyone watching, both in the room and soon the millions at home, that the line between storyline and real life had officially been erased. If this story kept you hooked till the end, don't just scroll away, hit that like button to let us know you enjoyed it. Subscribe so you never miss the next chapter, and ring the bell icon so you're always the first to know when new drama drops. And most importantly, share this video with your friends, because some secrets are too wild to keep to yourself.